It is Mission Impossible week here on planet Earth and here at CBS Mornings. All week, that means we're hearing from the big stars of the highly anticipated new film, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, ahead of its release tomorrow, Friday. You might know our next guest, actor Tramell Tillman from the award-winning series Severance. Well, now he is starring in the new Mission Impossible movie. He plays Captain Bledsoe, and he plays him well, the commander of a stealth U.S. submarine. We sat down with Tillman earlier this week. And before we get to the conversation, though, a sneak peek for you right now at a scene in the Final Reckoning after Bledsoe has rescued Tom Cruise's character, Ethan Hunt.
You must be Captain Bledsoe.
And you must be out of your mind. What exactly was the plan if we hadn't shown up?
You know, I really hadn't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
No.
Mind telling me what this is all about?
My mission is classified.
Uh-huh.
I need you to take me north.
Continue.
I'm expecting a set of exact coordinates via Morse code transmission.
And just how exactly do you expect to receive them down here?
What do you expect down here, Tramell Tillman? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I love that scene with you and Tom where you're saying, and you must be out of your mind. Because that's what I want to talk about you getting this role, starring opposite Tom Cruise.
So Christopher McQuarrie is a big fan of
director,
Severance.
yes.
Yes, he's the director. And he reached out and said that, you know, there's a role in it for you.
You said he's a fan of Severance.
He is a fan of Severance.
Yeah.
And a big
What was
fan
that
of
call
Richard.
like? What was that
Yeah.
exchange like?
I mean, it was kind of bizarre because
Really?
I didn't know exactly what he wanted. You know, I thought we were just going to talk about Severance, and I knew of his work and who he was. But then he shifted and started talking about what he was doing, which was filming, you know, Mission Impossible in the next installment. So he said to me, you know, I have this role that I'm thinking of you for, and I want to know if you're interested. And I said, okay. I did have to check my schedule. That was not a lie.
I know, but you did
In
say
the
that. I have to
process
check
of-
my schedule.
I did, you know, because we're in the process of filming season 2 of
Yeah.
Severance, you know, and we had already had that on hold for so long. So
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that that was ready to go. But as soon as I hung up with Christopher McQuarrie, I called my team and said, we have to figure this out.
I know, but I was
It's
thinking, I
like-
know what you're saying on the outside, but what are you saying on the inside? I was curious.
It's like, yes, it's finally happening.
I know, and now listen to the reviews about you. The real standout is Tillman, who steals every scene he has. He's got such charisma that it's a joy to watch him work outrageously good. And they're talking about you in this movie.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
You know, I had to compete with a shirtless, wet Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure.
That's tough competition.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that works.
I mean,
Yes,
you know,
it
the
We
man.
know that works on screen.
He does not skip a day in the gym. So I had to make sure I was on my up game.
Well,
what
you
was
were
it like
good.
working with Tom?
Yeah.
You know, getting to know him. You guys were on the set for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. So Tom is so generous as a scene partner. You know, he really cares about the work. He's committed to the craft, and he cares about the crew. He gives people the space to learn and to have the resources that they need to tell the story the best way they can.
Earlier in the week, you had the premiere here in New York. You've been traveling all around the world with the premiere. What does this feel like for you at this moment in time in your career?
I mean, it doesn't feel real.
Doesn't?
You know, I mean, I'm kind of waiting for the shoe to drop a little bit, you know, but I'm really honored and doing my best to take it all in day by day
And enjoy it.
and enjoy.
And before becoming an actor, you were studying to be an orthopedic surgeon?
Yeah, you heard about that, huh?
Yeah, I heard about that.
How far along were you?
Freshman year,
Wow.
I was at Xavier University, and I said, I don't want to do this anymore.
When they showed you a diagram of the knee and you were like, oh.
Surprisingly not. No, I could deal with that. I was in chem lab, and I was bored to tears. And I was looking at everybody else, and they loved what they were doing, you know? And all of my colleagues at that time, they're now doctors and dentists, and they're doing really well. And I said, you know, I want to follow my dream. I want to do the thing
And what
that
was
lights
your
me
dream?
up.
What was your dream
It was
that lights you-
acting.
It
I
was-
always
was-
wanted to act, even
Really?
as a little kid. You know, I was 10 years old. I
Since
said, I
the
wanna do
church
this.
play.
Since the church play, yeah.
But let's talk about Severance for just a second, because it's such a wild ride from season 1 to season 2.
Yeah.
Because at first he's so tough and he's so gruff, and now in season 2, He's had an icon, this marching band scene. Because clearly you have moves.
You see them shoulders?
That's what I said. That's become a meme, Tramell, by the way.
Yes.
Were you in a band? Did you do this before? Because
Some
that does not
HBC
seem,
roots right there.
Yeah, you
that
know
does
it.
not seem like acting
Rocks.
to me.
No,
Yes.
so I was in a band in high school.
Yes.
At Eleanor Roosevelt High School. And funny enough, the uniform from Choreography and Merriment mirrors the uniform that I had back in high school. And I didn't realize that at the time until a yearbook photo popped up on the internet. And I was like, oh my gosh, this photo looks very similar to the uniforms.
Real quick before you go, there's been a lot of chatter online about you playing Barry Bonds. I don't know
I
where
see
it
it.
came from.
Here we go.
I see it, Nate.
But
I
do you,
see it.
Because we see
And the
it. I know
shoulders,
they
the
say all
arm.
black people look alike, but you kind of favor Barry.
Yes.
Do you see it?
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing them.
Okay, that's what I'm
Batter up.
talking
Put it out.
Yeah.
Batter up.
Put
It will
out
be a
in the
home run.
universe.
That's for sure.
Congratulations.
Thank
to
you.
Congratulations and bravo.
I can really see it.
I can see it.
Can really see it, really can. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is in theaters, Dolby Cinema and IMAX tomorrow, Friday. Check it out. The movie is distributed, we are proud to say, by Paramount Pictures, which, like CBS, is part of Paramount Global.